So New Year's is about to be here, and this is arguably the best time as an online coach, online consultant to make a lot of sales, hit record months, and really just crush it. All right, because with New Year's, most people are thinking with new goals. How can I level up? How can I get better? How can I improve myself? Obviously, perfect for online coaching. All right. Close rates usually go through the roof. More people are booking calls. More people are showing up. Like literally everything typically goes up in January and even February as well. So you want to take advantage of this because it only happens once per year. So in this video, I'm going to break down how you can take the most advantage of this, really capitalize on New Year's. So if you skip this, you're going to be missing out on quite a bit of profit and revenue potentially. So let's dive in. So with this, like the very first thing that you realize is, to capitalize on New Year's and really any season, like the biggest thing is you need a consistent system to just get your offer in front of people. All right, lead gen system. All right, so if you don't have this right now, you have a real system to generate leads, and that's step one. Because without that, like if you're just like kind of randomly posting content, relying on word of mouth right now, that's like your system, for lack of better words. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to capitalize on New Year's. You're just kind of gonna be stuck in your normal sort of month. You might have a little bit of boost, just some word of mouth and stuff, but nothing to really push the gas because you have no real system. And so you want to get this set up ASAP, obviously to capitalize on New Year's. Ideally work on this before New Year's to get this set up. And so a lead gen system, this would be something like paid ads, for example, or a DM system or content, something where you have a predictable and scalable means of getting more traffic for your business, getting more leads. Paid ads is honestly the easiest route to go because obviously you just click a button and you can increase ad spend, how much traffic and how many leads you're getting, given that you have a good funnel set up. But that's number one. You need a lead gen system. All right, so work on this ASAP if you don't have this in place to capitalize, because it's really just a matter of, hey, like the market is primed during this time. Like they're primed to buy, they're primed to take massive action. So we need to get in front of that, like as much of the market as possible. It's pure like eyeballs. Like we need to just like put your offer in front of as many eyeballs as possible, and that will result in obviously more call bookings, more sales. But that's step one. Obviously, without that, you can't do anything. So step one is there. All right. Number two, what you can do is you can design your offer to have some urgency or scarcity. All right, some urgency or scarcity. So what this does, like for example, urgency, let's break this down. So urgency, all that is, it's basically a deadline, a time deadline for a certain like special offer, for example. And so you could have like a New Year's offer. Maybe this is valid for maybe just the month of January, maybe for the first 2 weeks. There's different ways you can go about it. But basically what this does, urgency, it forces people into the yes or the no bucket. All right, it forces people to get out of that maybe zone. All right, because most buyers really like naturally want to sit in the maybe zone because they're scared of making mistakes. They don't want to make a bad decision. And so they'll just say, maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll get to this later, yada, 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 whatever it is. And because maybe is very comfortable. But when you have urgency around your offer, like people have that fear of missing out, that FOMO. They don't want to miss out on a good deal. And so when you present a great deal, like a great special offer where you have bonuses in there, maybe you have a discount of some sort or some sort of thing that you add in, they don't want to miss out. And so this forces them to make a real decision of really like stepping into the yes bucket. Let's get started. Here's my credit card, or the no bucket. All right. And this is obviously preferable. We want people out of that maybe bucket and into the yes or no. This can result in obviously more sales. So that's urgency. Scarcity can work well as well. So this could be, you're only taking on 10 clients, 15 clients, whatever it is, with this special offer. You want these things to be real as well. So don't just like, obviously like urgency, you can make it up in terms of like, here's the deadline. But you want it to be real in terms of like sticking to your word of like, this is the actual deadline. Like after this date, like you cannot get the special offer. All right, so make sure you make it real if you're actually sticking to your word. A scarcity, same thing as well. If you only say you have 10 spots, like make sure you actually stick to that. Because if you don't, then obviously like that's obviously not ethical, and you can run into some issues there, of course. But that's number two. You can like basically make your offer special with urgency or scarcity, and that will even more drive up even more conversions of forcing people out of that maybe bucket and forcing them into action of the yes, or maybe they say no, which is fine. But that's number two. So one, real lead gen system. Number two, specialize your offer with urgency or scarcity. All right, here's number three. All right, number three is what we call a spear campaign. So a spear campaign is one of the special follow-up campaigns that we run internally for ourselves, and we give this system to all of our private clients as well. But basically, this is a special follow-up system that we basically send out messages to any leads in the past who were interested but they didn't convert. So anyone who booked a call but they didn't close, anyone who didn't show up to the call, anyone who was interested but they didn't even book a call, or anyone who showed explicit interest but they didn't take out their credit cards, they're all eligible for this campaign. Basically, what you do here, you would send them a spear message, re-engage their interest. All right, so there's certain ways to go about this, but we want to re-engage their interest again, because like think of the buying windows. All right, again, like people during this New Year's time are just primed to take action and level up. And so even though they weren't a buyer last month, 2, 3, 6 months ago, they might be a buyer today. All right, we don't know when the buying window is going to hit, so we want to be in front of them as much as possible, especially during this time. And so, for example, like a big real reason why people buy is due to sources of pain and trauma. So, for example, let's say, man and wife are sitting down watching a movie. This man's overweight. And they're watching the superhero movie or whatever, and the wife makes a small comment about, the superhero's abs, or like, holy crap, like look at his abs. And then the man sitting there looks down at his belly, all flopped over and stuff, and he feels this obviously instant pain. All right, he might have racing thoughts of, man, like I hate my body, I look like crap. My wife's not attracted to me anymore. Is she going to leave me? It might be all these crazy, painful thoughts. And what that does, that pain, that kind of small source of trauma, opens up a buying window. This guy is now receptive to buying solutions for his problem. All right, so that's the thing. We don't know when that buying window, when that those moments of pain are going to hit. So we just want to be in front of them as much as possible. A spear campaign is something that you should do routinely, but especially during the New Year's, because again, this is when people are primed just mentally of new energy, of reinvention, of new goals. All right, so very good time to do these spear campaigns. And basically what you do, you spear them. Once they reply positively, just get them back on a call as soon as possible. Run them through your sales process. So that's the art of the spear. Again, it works really well, and you want to do this routinely, even besides New Year's, because again, we don't know when that source of pain is going to hit, and so you want to be the person who's constantly in front of them. So you're the first person they have to think of when they want to solve their problem. All right, so very crucial. That's number 3. All right, so if you really do these 3 things, like you are going to be primed to crush New Year's, probably hit some record months here. Now, if you're someone who doesn't have a lead gen system in place, I can definitely help you out with this. Go ahead, click the link below for a breakdown of what we do. We basically help install our lead gen systems, our sales systems in your business, so you have that scalable, predictable method to get leads and sign clients for your business. That's obviously step number 1. If you don't have this, you're really going to be at a disadvantage to sign clients in the first place, of course, if you have no real system. So go ahead and click the link if you are interested. And thank you so much for watching. Let's crush New Year's. Let's hit some record months, and I'll see you in the next one.